Understand. And obviously Nelson Mandela.
Hi to you, Annette. Yeah, South Africa, we're hearing reports that are contradictory in a sense, as you pointed out. Now, let me go to this headline in the Huffington Post. There you can see Nelson Mandela's daughter brands the media racist over coverage of former leader's health. Now, Mandela's daughter is Makaziwe Mandela. There we can see a picture of her. I can show you her a bit more there in detail. Now, she has said, well, the media did not act in this way when Margaret Thatcher died. What we're seeing now is only be happening because Mr. Mandela is from an African country. People have lost respect for his family. So that there is being actually tweeted by Declan Walsh, who's a journalist for the New York Times there. He's retweeted that story from the Mail and Guardian in South Africa. Makaziwe on foreign media, when Margaret Thatcher was ill, I just didn't see this kind of behaviour. So, of course, the comparison there is not so easy to make, is it? Because Margaret Thatcher was, by her son and daughter, was announced as dead when the news broke. So there was no sense of this waiting that we're getting with Mandela. Now, let me just go to the piece by Declan Walsh in the New York Times. There you can see, as the world waits for news, tensions arise over the media swarm. And Declan Walsh in that piece actually points out that, you know, what we've heard before is that there have been drive-by shoutings.
That's a wonderful phrase he used in that piece.
It is, yeah. Drive-by shoutings to discourage the foreign journalists. Foreign journalists go home. Just to conclude on this section about South Africa, there, look at this tweet here. If we truly had any love, we would leave Nelson Mandela to live the rest of his days in peace. This is simply becoming a social media circus, and that is sad there. So there you go.
It really is looking at the wine glass, I suspect, half empty as opposed to half full, because you can't help but have interest given the fact that this is an iconic contemporary figure. Moving on now, let's take a look now at a story about the American whistleblower, Edward Snowden. Tell me, what have you got?
Well, there are stories every day about Snowden, and they're all fascinating. This one I've seen today is in Ars Technica, which is a technology and information website. Look at the headline there. In 2009, Ed Snowden said leakers should be shot, and then he became one. Now, Ars Technica is owned by the Condé Nast Group. It's a highly reputable magazine, and it says that in 2009, when Ed Snowden was living in Switzerland, he used their relay chat network, and there we can just go to some text that they have in their magazine article about things he said. You can't read it very much, and a good thing too, because he actually swears about all kinds of things. He talks about ordinary things like, you know, shopping and what it's like living in Switzerland. But at one point, he gets very angry about a New York Times article which is about Iran, which is based on leaks. And so he says, well, the people who make these leaks, they should be shot in the private parts. So there we can see that headline there. Edward Snowden blasted New York Times leaks in 2000. These leakers should be shot in the bleep. So, of course, my reaction when I was looking at that was like, is this info or intox? What is going on? You know, is this about disinformation? Where's it coming from? Ars Technica, a reputable source of news. It's not being picked up massively by the newspapers, but it is there for people to read.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it, as to the source of that bit of information. Nicholas, to end this segment, a couple of tweets, but this time they're from the 19th century.
Well, I couldn't help laughing at this because Twitter sphere is so 21st century, isn't it? And BuzzFeed have got this headline here that caught my eye: 10 people using Twitter in the 19th century. And they look at historical figures from the past, and they include people, for example, like Friedrich Nietzsche there. Of course, he's in a 140 characters. How do you sum up Nietzsche? I don't know how you can do that. But some kid asked me about God. I was like, you know, you fool. God is dead. And the person started to cry. So I said, sorry, never mind, of course, with a smiley upside down. And I can just go to this one here. It's our French artist Claude Monet. And here you can see, I always get so heated when the painting the sunset like "Step off my grind, people." Hashtag please leave. So squeezing those great people back into 140 characters. How crazy. Well worth looking at. There's Oscar Wilde's in there as well, all kinds of people. So that's on BuzzFeed.
Nicholas Rushworth with today's Media Watch. Thank you for that. And it's time now for business.